Whew. It came in hot.
Yes, I could barely contain myself from dancing.
But it's white people dancing though.
I can't even do that.
It is the white person snapping finger off beat.
Yeah, I'll just go drink in the corner.
It works for me. I'm okay with that. I can dance, but I mean I'm also Hispanic, so there's that.
Well, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that bearded Vikings are not good at dancing. They're good at fighting though.
Oh, for sure. We eat those shrimps, berserker rage.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is that time. It is that time to start another episode of, or at least the first episode of Disconcerting Interviews for 2026. Let's do this.
Distance nerding.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on. Let's turn that one off, make it less bright in here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still not any better. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned into the second worst kept secret on the internet. It is Distance Nerding Interviews.
Conformity gate? Is that the
Conformity gate? that would make us the third worst kept secret on the internet. We talked about that on the show yesterday, man. I don't think conformity gate is an actual thing.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And it's basically Mephisto all over again.
Well, no, we didn't want a Game of Thrones season 8 series finale.
Right. Yeah,
and
again,
we didn't because no one died.
I actually enjoyed the season finale of this show. It was not bad. I mean, there's a lot of people who complained about it, but it tied up all the loose ends, all the strings, except for the one that really pissed me off. They never addressed Susie, and that bothered me.
Well, because it's a never-ending story.
Never-ending story. I'm hoping that in Tales of 85 that they're gonna at least address. Well, no, they're gonna talk about how they met, if anything, because that's the summer that they met.
I just want them to go to 1992 to watch Jack Black and Neverending Story 3.
Yes. Yes. No. So yeah. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Disconcerting Interviews. You did land on the right show, or maybe you're on the wrong show and you found your way here. We're gonna have fun either way. So
but welcome
all the new faces, all the new people who are here. Before we jump into that, ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by the good folks over at Dubby. There we go. W is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about W at www.w.gg. Use the code NERDING10 and get 10% off your order. Delicious stuff, guys. It is great. And I highly recommend it. I actually have about 17 tubs of W sitting right here. Because we found all of my missing W that was in my closet.
Ooh.
Yes.
So if you drink W, because clearly you can feel like a freak on a leash.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's good reference. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. We do have two amazing guests that we're going to bring on the show here. So let's go ahead and get right to this. Let's introduce those guests. Two creators, one shared vision, and a story that's been fermenting in the indie comics underground like something powerful waiting to break the surface. Tonight, we're diving into the collaborative chaos of independent comics, where we live and is our sweet spot, where long gestating ideas finally find ink, imagination collides with grit, and passion does most of the heavy lifting. We're talking about the realities of building a comic from the ground up, blending horror style and personal storytelling, and what it takes to turn years of sketches and scripts into something readers can actually hold on to in their hands. So buckle up, crack open your favorite nerd beverage, because remember, guys, Talk Nerdy to Me is a thing now. I told you about our official distance nerding beverage, right?
No.
Oh yes, we have an official distance nerding beverage. It's called Talk Nerdy to Me. It is a it's a recipe for a cocktail. I'm gonna post it in the Nerdington post so that everybody can make it on their own at home. It is an exact recipe.
I sure hope it's eggnog and hot chocolate and Malort all mixed together.
It 100% is. I didn't know how you guessed that. Sadly, I'm in the middle of an intro, but sadly, I have to. My ADHD won't not let me say this. Malort put out a recipe for a Malort marinated steak, and it made me gag. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, help us welcome the co-creators behind Sin the Awakening to Distance Nerding. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show writer Kolby Diaz and artist Mark Nosler, the creators of Sin and so many more things that we're going to talk about. Put your hands together. Let's bring them on, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Hey, awesome intro. Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. You could definitely tell you guys are legit in the nerdosphere with all the back and forth, all the current topics. Very sharp and witty, so thank you. Appreciate it.
We immediately jump on this like, Stranger Things. We're going to make Stranger Things jokes just right off the bat.
Of course.
We just got off of our work shift. We just did our 9 to 5, and I mean, it's basically every time we hit like a break walk, this is what we're talking about. We've been talking about Stranger Things like probably everyone else for the past 6 or 7 weeks. And then I was listening to one of your most recent podcasts, the 2026 preview.
Yeah, that was our episode yesterday.
Yeah, I was listening to that. That was all stuff we've been talking about. So cool to listen to.
Yeah, this is a bunch of nerds, talking about nerdy things and jokes and whatnot. So
we're all in good company.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's bring the focus right back to you guys here, right? Because that's the main thing. We're here to focus on you guys. We're gonna start. Before we get into your story and everything, we're gonna learn a little bit more about you guys. We have a segment on our show called "Growing Up Geeky," right? Kind of segmenting into what we were talking about. What did you guys geek out on when you were kids?
I'll let Mark start. We can go on forever though.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on Godzilla VHS tapes.
Yes.
Early 90s Image comics like The Max and Spawn and all the good stuff, Savage Dragon, and like the metal magazine section of like Tower Records with like Hit Parader and Circus and like seeing all like before you could go on YouTube and just watch live shit, like just pictures of bands like Slipknot and Mudvayne, and it was just they were larger than life because you couldn't actually see it. It was just a magazine clipping. So like, yeah, if you mix up like the heavy metal stuff, the Godzilla, Kaiju, Toho stuff, and then like the early 90s Image comics, I mean, I'm like still that guy to this day. So yeah, I mean, all the stuff I geeked out on as a kid, I still geek out on today.
We really are in good company, man.
I'm sure Kolby could say the same thing. Like, he's still that same dude.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could see more of my room than I was planning on, but I mean, I'm sure you could see a lot of stuff here. I got my Friday the 13th koozie. There's a Anakin up there. There's a Scorpion up there. I got a Barbarian poster. But my parents, they did not shelter me from any horror movies. They both love horror as a as a genre, and they didn't want their kid getting in the way of them watching the stuff that they wanted to watch. So they just put it on when I was little and just deal with it afterwards. And if anything, if my dad didn't think I was traumatized enough, he would like lean into it, be like, get closer to the TV, son. I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, you need to get close to the TV with the big scary dude on it right now. And I'd be like, Dad, stop. And then be like, I'm not your dad. Anyway, he would go into he would play mind games with me. So I guess you could kind of see like the twisted vision early. But my dad was a comic collector. I have his long boxes from when he was a teenager underneath my bed right now. But same thing as Mark. My dad was definitely an art over writing kind of a comic consumer. So the big Image boom, as soon as all those guys went over to Image, my dad was there. He was collecting all of that stuff. Spawn, Savage Dragon, just like Mark said. Pit was a huge one. If you guys are familiar with Pit, that was my favorite in Image. Wildcats and Cyberforce and all that stuff. And then when I started getting into reading comics, I started at some point, I think I read The Dark Knight Returns, and that was like a formative experience for me. I was like, holy crap, I didn't know this would be so good, because I was just like looking at the art, and I'm used to like the big, like, you know, veiny, muscular dudes that are just cool to look at. And I was like, I don't know if I really like this, but everyone keeps talking it up. I was in middle school and I read it and I was blown away. And then I got another Batman book, and I'm just thinking, okay, you buy it based on character, and every Batman book you buy is going to be awesome. And I bought this Batman book where he's fighting like some ninjas, or I don't know what was going on. I sold it, but I bought it, read it, and I was like, this wasn't very good. And then I started looking at the writers a little bit more. But anyway, that's where my path kind of diverged more into like the writing realm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you enjoy the Batman versus Spawn? I think there's 3 of them now.
I actually have not read it, but I know that's the origin of Spawn's stitched face, and I'm sure Mark has read it probably several times.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that was the big like McFarlane Frank Miller crossover.
Right.
I think that happened after the Spawn issue that Miller wrote, but that was like the big. I mean, I remember that was huge, and I thought like, oh, McFarlane like really put in the extra elbow grease on all his pencils and ink work. And but then this most recent one was like the excuse to bring Capullo back and have McFarlane ink over him. So that was, I mean, because the longest running comic that I collected as a kid was, you know, all the Capullo Spawn issues. So to see him finally come back and have McFarlane's kind of like jittery line all over his pencils again was super cool to see. Yeah, I was trying to bid on one of those pages because Capullo Art, his website, well, he'll put up original work every now and then.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm always like browsing that site, just like,
Between Jim Lee and Greg Capullo.
One of these pages this month.
Yeah, I was saying between Greg Capullo and Jim Lee, those are my 2 favorite artists of all time.
Oh, great! Yeah,
solid
definitely.
picks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Kolby,
they've got to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah. But Kolby, I gotta ask. I am a horror fiend as well. I don't know if you can see some of my tattoos here, but
oh yeah, is that Jason? I think the red
Jason,
triangle of the hockey mask.
Chucky.
Oh, nice,
Michael.
nice.
What's your favorite horror movie then?
Oh boy, it's probably got to be The Thing.
Okay.
Nice.
1982. I have the collector's edition Blu-ray with all the awesome special features to prove that wasn't an actual alien entity on set, because it still holds up to this day, those practical effects. Yeah. I gotta go with The Thing. I mean, I appreciate. I know there's a lot of people in the horror fandom that are like, you know, I like my cheesy slasher movies, or I like my horror movies not to take themselves too seriously. And then and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I love those too. And then, but then there's also the elevated horror people that like only like the A24 stuff and everything like that. I like both. I have a Hereditary official A24 T-shirt that I bought secondhand off of eBay for like $70 or something in my drawer here. I love Hereditary, but I also love those other movies. Anyway, The Thing,
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 is up there.
Yes. Well, I mean, the upper part of my arm is all Evil Dead.
Oh hell yeah!
So yeah. How do you feel
Maybe
about
my
the-
favorite trilogy is the Evil Dead trilogy, the original one.
It's definitely mine. That was my litmus test for my wife when
Oh.
we first started dating. It's like, if you can't watch these movies, we can't date.
I'm similar. My girlfriend is super into movies too,
That's
and
fair.
we were hanging out as friends, and I was like, she's just checking all of the boxes. She likes cool stuff. She has her own opinion. This is great. You don't have to agree with me, but I just want to hear your thought process.
Yeah, my
What your kid's name is?
my wife let me name our son Ash William.
Oh hell yeah! Is your last name Williams, or is that the middle name?
That's the middle name.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
So yeah, huge horror hounds over here.
Us too. We love it.
Well, I mean, that kind of works with you guys with going into horror and comics, you know.
Mhm.
And so your love of horror obviously is what kind of started you, Kolby, in that. Now, is that what kind of made you want to start writing? You know, talk about the comic side of writing, but was horror movies helped you get into that mode too?
I feel like I could write. I like all genre fiction, really. Like I've written fantasy, I've written sci-fi. I've had several short stories published in like short story magazines. That I don't know, just cover different genres, I guess is my point. But horror comes easiest to me. I don't know why. It just comes. Well, my fandom and I guess just my influences, like everything programmed in my subconscious. Those are the ideas that I produce, and those are the ideas that I'm generally most passionate about. And I don't know, me and the first time I met Mark, he had a jackal tattoo from 13 Ghosts on his forearm, and that was literally the first interaction socially that we had together. So it made sense for us to do less superhero comics, even though we both love superheroes, and go more into like creatures, monsters, and horror.
It's very evident, and when like we'll get into this in a little bit, but I mean like very evident when you start reading the stories, you can see a lot of the influence from different things, a lot of the classic influence that just it really the between the storytelling and the visuals and like all that kept me engaged. Like it just I did not want to put anything down. You know what I mean?
Huge compliment, thank you.
Yeah. So, Mark, when did you realize that you wanted to pursue art as more than just a passion? Was it something you were always doodling as a kid, or did you go to art school or anything?
Yeah, I was always doodling as a kid, and then I got into high school, and my priorities kind of shifted more to the music side of things. So, graduating high school, I went on tour with this. It was a national touring act called Motograder, and I was always in the position of like, okay, well, he's gonna design our stage merch and all the like the banners and the bass drum heads, and then you do a couple of those tours, and then people from other bands are like, hey, can you make some for us too? And then that kind of like that spiraled into doing like commission artwork and being like, wow, I enjoy doing this. I'm getting better the more I do, and I'm getting like paid for it. So yeah, it wasn't always gonna be like merch and like album covers and t-shirts and stuff, but eventually I was able to steer it back to comics. Because that was always where the passion was,
Yeah. And I think you think of bands like in the '90s, Green Jelly, right? Merged the comic book with the horror, with the music, and everything else like that.
Speaking of
Yeah,
green
that's so
jelly,
fun. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a project recently for a buddy of mine. He's got a YouTube channel that
Mhm.
really kind of did well for himself. So he started doing these annual festivals where they have vendors of like mask makers and horror effects, special effects artists. They come bring all their stuff there. And for this particular year, it was their third year. So, of course, horror themed trilogy, third movie title, it would be Pale Fest 3D.
Mhm.
And so they wanted to do a comic as like the brochure, but it gave like a intro to all the different vendors and all the different products. And yeah, Green Jelly was one of the bands that they got to perform at like the big finale of this event. So one of my buddies, Jordan Patton, he was on the series Face Off,
Mhm.
and so they had him do this like mask of the green jelly or green jello character. And yeah, it was a really cool project. Super proud of that one. A lot of work. It was like a year's worth of work got put into it, but and you know, and probably for someone to just look through it like this quick, but still like you're super proud of it once you have it in your hand to see like, wow, look at this is like a year of my life right here.
Yeah. I
yeah.
honestly, I
The
think green.
artwork's great.
Yeah. It
Thank you.
definitely is. And like I said, I think green, the real name's Green Jello, but they are still the best soundtrack to a video game ever made, and that's Maximum Carnage.
Oh, nice, nice.
And it really felt right there with Maximum Carnage. If you look at the comics to the story to the artwork to the music, I think it's the perfect amalgamation of everything that is nerdom in a whole.
Right. And that was one of my favorite comics, my favorite runs of comics growing up
Yeah.
was the entire Maximum Carnage series.
Yeah. So Colby, how did you started writing? You said when you start writing, it's something you always did, or something that you just kind of grew into the past couple of years that you wanted to just blossom and really make into comics then?
So when I was a kid, I always had like a really active imagination, and I would make characters all the time and make my own action figures out of the characters. They'd either be like arts and crafts projects at school. I would make these characters, or I would like if toys broke, I would just get all the pieces together and then hot glue them together and create my own dudes, and then create narratives for them. So that was always something I did when I was little. Always had toys, and when I had toys, there was a narrative to it. I'd have my friends come over. Sometimes we'd like film movies. I have a Godzilla versus Space Godzilla movie somewhere, if my mom still has it, with just the action figures and me and my friend playing with them. And then when I was in, I think, 5th grade, I made this character, a slasher character called Prisoner 666.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I was in my the peak of my Slipknot fandom. So if you see the
Yeah.
character, he's just got the mask and he's got the orange jumpsuit. And I
Mhm.
think I just thought it was a cool idea. I was like, the prisoners, they have like these numbers like on them. How about like 666? And he's just like this demonic slasher character from hell. So I did that. And then I think in middle school, I had an extra notebook for school that I wasn't using, and I just was like, okay, let me start writing a script. How hard could that be? I'd watch all the behind the scenes
Mhm.
footage on every DVD that I had, so I could like see the craft there. I knew what people were doing. I wanted to make movies when I was a kid. That was like the first thing I wanted to do because that's what you're watching.
Yeah.
I drew a lot when I was a kid too. And then when I became a teenager, I started getting away from it. I do I do combat sports, so it's
Okay.
like I've had like these different passions. So I got more into like doing sports and athletics for a long time. And then when I went to college, I was like, is this the time? Because I always knew I was going to return to it. Like I have these creative aspirations. I don't know where they're going to go, if they're going to
Mhm.
ever go anywhere, but I'm definitely going to exercise that. Went to school. I was a was in a band too. So I was a drummer taking music theory in college, which I just thought maybe it would make me that much better somehow. So I did music theory. I was a music major. Switched to art, and then with the idea of doing comics, I was like, whoa, well, it's a lot easier to make comics than it is movies. You can just kind of rely on yourself, which is what we've been doing. And then I decided to sell out and get a business degree. Did that. Trained for a while to fight, and then my family gave me pressure to get like a secure career job, so I did that. And then once I got the career job, I couldn't train martial arts the same way anymore, and I was like, okay, now is the time. I need something to obsess about and work hard on all day. So 2016 is when I started writing, and wrote a lot and never looked back.
I was gonna say you're part Filipino, right?
Yeah, I'm half.
Yeah. So like your whole family was probably just like, you need to get a better job.
It was actually the white side of the family.
Really?
Yeah, my dad is the nerd, and my dad's the Filipino guy. So my dad was always just like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Keep it up, son."
Yeah. My dad, when I went to college, like, you need to do something actually with your life. So I stepped away from filmmaking and theater for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, I came back to it, and I'm just going a whole hog again and just enjoying it. We're filming a new movie this month, so.
Oh, awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun though. It is. It's you gotta do something that's not your day job, right?
I don't know how people don't. I mean, that could be so many forms. You know, I think about that a lot. Like, it could be your family. Maybe your family is the thing that you're focusing on, and obviously that takes a lot of time and energy.
Mhm.
Or I don't know, whatever little arts and crafts. I don't mean little as in to demean it, but whatever it is, you have to have your thing to keep your sanity, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree, Mark. You know, with you, you know, what keeping your sanity? Do you have like special techniques you work on? Do you like to do traditional, digital, mixed art? How do you like to do your drawings?
Yeah, so I have. It's so funny because when we both work at the same day job, and mine it's office based, so I get a lot of my ideas for art when I'm doing my day job. So
Mhm.
I have like just these sticky notes all scattered around that just have ideas. They look like ramblings of a madman, and I started
Pretty much
collecting
every
them
artist.
in. Oh yeah, and I started collecting them in a sketchbook because I never have my sketchbook when I need it, but
Mhm.
I'm always just drawing on random things. So I have this like it's like my little black book of just all these ideas when I sketch them on whatever paper that's laying around. Um, and then I will usually like take a picture of that and use that as my thumbnail, as they would call it,
Mhm.
and then do like the next maybe 75% of it on Procreate on the iPad. Just because that way I can do it anywhere. I can, spending what little time of the day with like my partner, I could do it from bed while
Mhm.
she's like reading a book or something. And but Procreate it's kind of limited, especially when you're working on bigger pieces. So I always have to finish that last 25% on the desktop with Photoshop because it's unlimited layers.
Mhm.
You can res up, do whatever post production, especially when you're doing everything yourself and you start having to handle like the printing side. Then it's like, yeah, you got to do all that CMYK junk on the desktop and treat it as like the post production of the art piece. Um, and then you got to figure out like, posting it and like having content to go with it and like
Mhm.
making sure it fits the Instagram borders that are all weird.
Yep.
And what time of day should I post this?
Yeah.
It's just,
Okay, I
yeah.
didn't even think about that until we started like making reels and stuff to post on our social media.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing like, yeah, the time of day that you post something matters. I'm just like,
Yeah.
are you fucking serious, man?
Mhm.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
Like, because like in my mind, I was like, I post it and somebody sees it at some point, right? But it's like, nope, you got to post it at a certain time, otherwise the algorithm doesn't push it out. Like, what?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like when Inktober originally started it must have been like 2016 or something like that. Maybe even before that. Um, oh my God. I mean, if you were interacting with everyone using that hashtag, like your followers were just going up, your views were going up. Like it was so organic. And yeah, and then like 2020, 2021 hit, and I feel like it just completely shifted to the reels, and you got to do it 3 times a day at certain points of the day for the algorithm to catch it.
Right.
And if it's longer than 90 seconds, it's like you're not even getting it played to anybody. Yeah, it's like it's a whole you need like a whole task force to stay on top of that stuff
Yep.
24/7.
Oh,
So
for sure.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and you talk about like your artwork and stuff like that. You know, my oldest daughter, she likes to do arts and crafts. She's been drawing. She got a button maker for Christmas, and
Oh,
she's drawing other stuff. And she's like, she drew it, and then she did it, and the button didn't work right. She's like, well, now I have to redraw it. I'm like, well, next time what we'll do is you draw it, we'll digitally scan it. So if you have to recreate it, we can
Yeah.
do test prints, all that stuff, just to do that. And that's why digital is great in that aspect for. At least for my part of too, is that you're able to save it. It's no longer, hey, I'm making this thing, put in my thumb drive, mail it to myself as the poor man's, trademarking system.
Which I came to learn that doesn't actually work.
It doesn't, but people thought it did. So it was
yeah, I mean, obviously the dream is to do that full time, and that pays all the bills. And then you could get fancy and start doing it all traditional. So then you could sell the original artwork like when you're ready to let it go. And that could be cool little like retirement pieces, or like upgrades to your equipment to whatever projects you're working on, and investments back into yourself, because it is such a like lost art form now, is like doing it on paper. Like as soon as you start saying, oh yeah, you do your original pages on paper and like have your portfolio you take with you, it's like I feel like you automatically get elevated, even if the work is like, some would say not maybe amateurish. It doesn't matter, it's on physical paper, and I feel like it gives it like an extra boost of coolness because it's real,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can
I
do that.
completely agree. And it's something that with the filmmaking that I'm working on some horror shorts, and I'm doing stuff set in a certain decade in the 80s, 90s. I'm going to film on VHS and then
sick.
painstakingly edit that crap to make a short film. It's me a pain. People used to do it all the time though. So
yeah, our new normals aren't what they used to be. That's for sure.
Correct.
Like hand-drawn animation cells, like
Oh God, but when it happens, man, like when that kind of stuff happens, it is a like it is always lauded as something beautiful. Like think of God, what was that game? Cuphead. Right, where like Cuphead, everything was hand drawn in that game, and it made it that much better. It's also got a lot of accolades because it was one of the hardest fucking games to ever come out. So I was like,
yeah.
I'm in the process of beating that on expert mode with my nephew right now. We're on the penultimate boss.
Ooh.
Yeah. God, who's the penultimate boss? It wasn't
It's King Dice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then you
I'll
fight
never
Satan.
forget.
And then you fight Satan after that.
Yeah. He actually, my nephew beat I'm the mug man to his Cuphead, and we beat King Dice technically, but he carried so hard. I was like, dude, I don't feel like I mastered this level. So I was like, we can't go to the final boss until I figure out how to beat this guy on my own. Otherwise, I feel like I have unfinished business with this game. So that's what we're doing.
My kids like, we want to play Cuphead. I go, are you sure? Are you really sure?
It's like Cuphead is more cute than a game that you guys actually want to play.
You're used to Lego Star Wars and Minecraft. You want to do Cuphead? Sure, we'll see how this works for you.
I think there's a kids mode. There's I don't know. It might still be like very hard, but
I was gonna say there's a kids mode. I need to play on kids mode.
yeah, I think that there's like a kids mode or an easy mode or something.
I was
there.
a '90s kid. We didn't have easy modes.
Yeah, we had the Lion King. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's amazing. I said to my kids, like, I want to switch to. I'm like, beat Silver Surfer for the NES. And it's yours. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, seriously. And they're like, no one can do it. I'm like, correct.
I want you guys to beat the original Battletoads. There you go, and then I'll get you one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, Colby, you have a lot of interactive stories, and your anthology, you're from Dark Corners. Is that something that you always planned to be a comic, or these short stories that you had that then you adapted into the comic?
So like Mark said, we have day jobs, and often the artists that I'm working with also have day jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to get somebody one artist to commit to a full length comic.
Right.
One, it's like just sounds incredibly daunting. You're gonna release this out to the world as an artist. You want everything to be your best foot forward. So I understand all of that, but it was just like commissioning one artist to do one entire full book would take years to get done. And I'd have to, be there for like the ups and downs with life happening to them, and
Mm-hmm.
bouts with anxiety working on the project and stuff like that. So there's all of these factors you have to consider when you're not full-time working in the industry. So I came up with the idea. I was like, well, if I have a bunch of artists working on smaller stories with less pages to draw, one, it's going to be easier for them to actually do it, draw 3 pages versus 28 pages or whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, I could have them all working on it at the same time, so I can continue to release these books, get my name out there, and then break into the industry, and then bring all of my creative friends with me into it. So that's how it came about. And it's also fun as a creative exercise, just to write these short stories,
Mm-hmm.
and it's satisfying to complete them all too. Like a lot of those, I think I wrote them in the first issue. I wrote them in less than a day. Sometimes I'd start the morning with my coffee. I wouldn't have breakfast yet, and I'd write the entire thing by the time I was ready for breakfast. So
Really? Okay, so I have to ask you this, right? And this is something that I have written in this rundown, but like I was really blown away by how some of the stories in that first anthology had such like deep cut lore inside of it, and like stuff like based on mythology and things like that. Do you just like constantly study that stuff on your own, or is that more something like, hey, I want to write a story about the bridge troll, and I'm gonna go and like look up Norse mythology and things like that. Like how did you go about doing the research for those stories?
it's both. I mean, like we said, we've been about this life since day one. So reading mythology books at libraries when I was a kid was something I did. And if I need to brush up on anything, well, even if I'm confident on material, a lot of the times I'll fact check myself to make sure I know what I'm talking about, because no one wants to put something out there and come across as a dummy. But yeah, it's all there. If I get inspired about something, I'll just write it, and then I could sharpen it up in like a second draft to get all the details right. Or, I could use it as like a little rabbit hole to tumble down and just research. And, like I'm writing a mummy story coming up, and I was just looking up cool mummy stuff. And then I found out that people in England, during like the big mummy Egypt boom, the rich
Eating
people
mummies.
in England were eating pieces
eating-
of
yep.
mummies.
Like
Mhm.
jerky.
Yeah, like jerky, because it was supposed to give them like eternal youth and beauty
Yep.
and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's an awesome idea, and I haven't seen that in anything. So, spoiler, that's going to be a story I'm writing coming up.
But it's like I said, like I was really impressed with not just in the anthology series, but then again going to Headless Horseman Frankenstein and the amount of lore that's in that, and just kind of everything that you guys kind of or everything that you wrote, and also how distinctly different everything is. It doesn't feel like it's like the same person wrote this. It's and which is like a sign of good writing, is that you're able to create a narrative and continue on with that narrative and then create another narrative that doesn't necessarily say it's the same writer, you know?
Yeah, thank you, thank you. That was another thing that I had in mind when doing the anthology series. One, like I don't want to keep doing the same thing and get bored with it. And then two, even though I'm visiting all these familiar genres, I'm a fan. So I know what's already been done. If it's already been done, what's the point in doing it again? If
Mhm.
I can find my own unique in with something, then it'll be worthwhile to go ahead and do it. But speaking on Headless Horseman Frankenstein, yeah, I have pages and pages and pages of lore going all the way back to the Big Bang for Headless Horseman Frankenstein. Just kind of like, how does this universe work? What is the history? Boring stuff like the economics of the world and things like that. Because I plan on
Oh my
supporting
God.
that series for hundreds of issues if I can. But these are things that, like, as a writer, I'm not going to just shove it in your face, be like, "Oh, look at all the research I did and all the notes that I've taken." Like, I just want that to inform the world like I know it as I'm writing it, and then it comes across passively to the reader. That way the world feels lived in. A tip I've learned, I forget which writer told me this, but not told me this. I watched an interview or something, or I read something, and they're like, world building and storytelling, it should be like you going on vacation in another country and just kind of like learning about the country just through interactions and stuff and what you're observing along the way. You have 2 plus 2 rather than 4. You're just kind of putting the pieces together in
Yeah.
stories.
No, that's amazing, man. And I mean, that's the thing is, again, my favorite stories, at least me as a consumer of the media, my favorite stories are always the things that are, again, it's a lived-in world. It's a world that you're just being dropped into the middle of it and learning a story. So I think it's what drew so many people to Star Wars, was because they didn't need to explain everything to everyone. It was, hey, here's a world, here are things that exist, and you're learning as you go. And I we get dropped into, because now we're talking about it, we get dropped into this world, and it's like, okay, we start off with kind of like these five entities, and they're fighting the tyrant, and all of a sudden you have the headless horseman riding a fucking chimera,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, what the fuck? I need to know why he's riding a chimera, like, of all things.
Oh yeah, I have the backstory for that, and if I pull it off the right way, it should be a kind of a tear jerking moment. But yeah, I have so many plans for it. I have a sequel in the works right now called Headless Horseman Frankenstein Dungeon Party, and it's kind of like I mean, in the world, it's like there's a Dungeons and Dragons party where you have, your classic characters like a rogue and a mage and whatever. And it's this group of people that are working as like mercenaries in the world. Their archer was brutally killed by a witch like a couple days before, and they see the Headless Horseman Frankenstein's bow skills, and they're like, "Hey, we need an archer. Would you want to join us? You're heading west anyways. There's only one way you could be going because the ocean's right here. So you have to be going this way. Will you join us?" And then Headless Horseman Frankenstein reluctantly joins their party, and that's that. That's probably going to be like 120 to 150 pages, though. It'll be a big graphic novel.
I can't wait to read it, because again,
Yeah.
I'm already loving the world building in this, and loving the way that, again, it's a gripping story. It's each moment in the story makes you want to continue reading, and
Oh, thank you.
yeah, and I mean, again, it's a sign of good writing, man. Like, it's just, yeah, I don't need to know everything that's happening in order to understand the story, and that says a lot about the world building, the story building. Makes me want to learn more. Again, you have these almost like classic horror characters that are interacting with each other that would never interact with each other in any other capacity, but then also other aspects of different lore that are involved in this. Like, again, why would I ever imagine the Headless Horseman riding a chimera? Right. And it's like,
Right.
like it's things like that that make me go, oh, I want to know more. I want to know what's going on with this. Why, with all the names that they have, again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like you have these interactions, you find out who the tyrant is, and it's like, oh my god, like there's so much cross lore in all of this, and it's like I feel like you have to do so much work to build that world correctly, and it was executed right.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun writing that, and I'm very confident until I release something, and then I start getting self-conscious about it. But when I look back at that process, I had so much fun writing that manuscript, and just kind of grading my own writing. I'm like, okay, I feel like I feel that I had fun when I revisit it. I'm like, okay, I think I was having a good time writing this book.
Yeah, and I do appreciate you looking at the entire lore, especially your horror stuff, because I know horror inside out too, and just to do something different. It's not the same thing. As much as like for me, as much as I love fan films, it's a fan film. It's not you're taking someone else's IP and just doing something else with it. Essentially, the next entry into it. That's why I like Indy a lot more, is because the more unique stories are coming from the indie world. It's not the same story over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think one of the production team I'm part of, they're like, hey, Graveyard, you know way too much about horror movies. You should be part of this so you can tell us, yeah, this has been done before. Don't do it.
I think, being a true fan and then going into those fields of work, I think is a huge benefit. Like, you're a legit person that knows what's good. The beloved franchises. What makes them beloved. What makes them tick. It's not like, you're like, what's trending? What can we make money off of? Let's try to recreate it without having, that passion and the stake in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And like what we did before, we did this last year, is like to keep ideas fresh. And we just essentially had like, if you watch South Park make Family Guy, there's a bunch of manatees picking up balls to make story plots.
Yeah.
We actually had a person, place, and thing or entity, and we spun it. So we had random selections and then we made short stories off of what we had.
Oh, that's cool.
Wheels, just to do something unique and different that we may not have thought of. And it's just a way to keep our minds fresh with the storytelling.
Right.
Yeah, parameters are great breeding grounds for creativity. Like, okay, this is the subject, this is the realm that we have to work by. We have like these rules, like those limiting factors will often yield good creative results.
Yeah. And something we did before too is before all the public domain crap that happened 2 years ago, we want disturbed fairy tales and do something. I wrote Peter Pan, where he's actually an evil fairy, and the pirates, the adults, are actually the good people in the story. And pure evil, and it's just essentially stealing kids to steal their souls and youth.
Yeah, that's a cool twist. And Peter Pan is somebody that is very strong in the cultural zeitgeist. Everyone knows who Peter Pan is, and if you can subvert that, that good childhood feeling, and then make it scary, that could really resonate with people.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it. It's going to take a lot of work to do that, but I want to do that for sure.
And if you don't end up making that as a film, I mean, that could be a good comic, dude.
I know.
Oh yeah. You can always do a comic if you can't do a movie.
Endless budget with comics.
It's movies are just, I don't know. They feel different to me. I love being on set. It's just, you actually get to work with different people every single time. So it's just like, a camaraderie that happens with a movie too. I know it happens with comics too, but it's just like actually having everyone in the same room, in the same house, working on the same project. I think it's different for me than remote.
Definitely.
The world's been remote for 5 years now, and it's good way to come back together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So, what's it been like for you self-publishing these comics then for you guys?
A lot of troubleshooting with the printer. A lot of figuring out what reds don't print accurately. Figuring out just how double page spreads connect properly is like a whole art in of itself. Yeah, it's hard, especially with being so close to our creative projects. This is like the last piece of it that we have to let go of and let somebody else finish it to get it to the finish line, and to not have control over that and to get it to print exactly how you want is like, it can drive you a little crazy. Um, Especially because one of the printers we go to, their final products end up getting outsourced. So it's, even if you nailed it one time, it might not be exact the next time around. So yeah, I mean, it's a struggle when you're just kind of like a, a little guy looking for maybe a local spot to use, or you're not getting the top of the line stuff that a big massive publisher would get. But yeah, I mean, so it makes you think, like, you're always hunting for the next option, or you're like, do I invest in my own like printing setup? Like, you go down those rabbit holes of figuring out like logistically how would that even work,
Yeah.
But I think we've got a good system now. And usually I'll just try to save the settings from the last book I did that worked and then just roll with it. Um, but there's been a few times where you got a convention coming up and you order books, and then it's supposed to be here right on time, and then they send you, oh, here's a delay. Sorry, it's actually going
Oh
to show up
God,
the
yeah.
week after the convention. And then by this point, you've already got your non-refundable booth payment down, and you're ready to go. So that's happened a few times. Um, but yeah, I guess that all just comes back to time management. Like, you got to factor this stuff in, like, you know 30, 60, maybe 90 days out from if you're ever like dropping something. um so yeah, it's there's so many there's so many memes that come to mind of like the people sitting there and realizing, God, I just wanted to be an artist, but you really have to be this and this and this and this and this. And yeah, you just, at the end of the day, you want to just do the creative side of it, but it really is beneficial to have to go through every step of making something and figuring out that, oh wow, okay, there is this whole other side of this that, if I could get better at, is at the end of the day is just going to deliver a better product. The more you know of how the process works and what you can do to help the printers out, and vice versa. um yeah, I mean, that's been my experience with it. But at the same time, it's always the best part is like opening the box and then getting the books. um so I guess you couldn't have one without the other, or one wouldn't be as sweet without the other. That's been my experience with it. I don't know, Colby, he's kind of taken the reins on these last few books and been doing it himself too. So I know he's starting to see all the different things that you come across learning that side of things.
Oh man, yeah, lettering, just lettering alone, it's a whole art on itself. And the lettering aspect is like simple, but like you have to get simple right. I don't know. There's like, and there's different philosophies. If if you're a comic reader, just start looking at the lettering in the books, and you can see like how this book did their lettering, how much white space is in the bubbles. Are they doing thought bubbles, captions, all kinds of stuff. And I have like moved away from the artistic side of creativity for me, as far as like drawing and stuff like that. So I'm limited for what I can do in Photoshop, where like if Mark is doing it, Mark could like draw like a sick font that he just he's drawing it, he's making it himself, and somebody like me, I'm limited to like finding like free fonts online or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lettering has been like a big eye opener for me, and then also dealing with the printing and like knowing like the bleed on the pages and the dimensions and stuff like that helps me, at least when I'm contacting artists to work on the book. If they ask me like what are the dimensions that I should be drawing in and stuff like that, now I can finally speak on that more confidently, where before I'd be like, Mark, what do I tell this person? I don't know what they're asking me.
But it is crazy. Like, you think of comic book as a universal thing, and then you try out 5 or 6 different printers, and they all have different size templates to work off of. So it's like you got to plan out, even before you make the book, you got to figure out, oh, in 6 months from now when this thing's done, who am I even printing it with? Because that's going to determine the template that you build this whole thing off of.
Yeah.
And I mean, the increments are small enough where you could, make adjustments as needed. But it's nice to know exactly what you're working with at the very beginning. And yeah, it's just a lot of troubleshooting. You don't, I mean, you can read as many old like Wizard magazine articles as you want with your favorite comic artists, but at the end of the day, it's nothing like doing it and like troubleshooting it and making all those mistakes that you make in the beginning, making the pages too thick, and then your book shows up and it's like it can't even close. But at the time it's like, yeah, but I just want premium cardstock for every page, right? That'll look dope. But then it's like, yeah, it shows up and the thing can't even close because the pages are too thick, and you're just like, oh, okay.
That's why you don't do that.
Yeah, it's like, all right. So yeah, and a lot of it is maybe your mind has expectations that really just aren't possible with how like printing stuff works. Like, you got to be careful with like how glowy are your glows on your page, and just like how bright your colors are, because they're lit with a computer screen, like they're backlit. So yeah, just all that stuff, like the CMYK conversion, of realizing like, oh my god, like where did all my color go? And then just realizing, okay, I should probably just start coloring in this format so I know what I'm limited to. And yeah, and then just all of figuring out pricing, and I did I did hollow foil version of that Pale Fest book, and yeah, you kind of got to factor in like, all right, hopefully these at least are all going to sell to justify the price, because it starts getting expensive adding all the flares to it. But yeah, I mean, you gotta pay to play, right? You gotta take those costs, even especially if you're not doing like a pre-sale model. If it's just like, I'm buying a stock of this and either it sells or I have to like make a stack in the garage, and then just try to get rid of it at conventions. Not speaking from experience, but yeah, I mean,
that
especially
100,
with like,
I was gonna say that 100% describes our merch model. So
oh yeah, totally. Especially when it's like that convention I was telling you earlier, where like a printing delay happened a week before a convention, so I skipped the convention. Then I just got a shipment of like 100 of these books, and then it's like, okay, yeah, now I'm sitting on these until I can book another convention or do some kind of online deal. So yeah, I mean, you got to prepare for anything to happen. Shipping costs, like, I remember I did a big like a sticker drop a couple years back, and opened it up internationally, and just realizing like, oh my god, even sending something that's like ounces in weight to like in somewhere overseas, all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I should have never done this. I should have never opened up orders overseas. This is so expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. International shipping is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal. Like it'll be the death of all like indie artists that really are trying to do it, because it's just like how there's no way to justify it, and then to even justify charging it is ridiculous, because it's like it becomes more than the stuff they're even buying.
And
Yeah.
like the consumers don't understand that. They don't understand all that kind of stuff. They're just
Yeah.
like, why is it, $40 cheaper in the US? Well, because we got to ship it out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the same issues with distribution with our movies, physical or digital. It's just you have to work with someone overseas. Honestly, if you're going to go to England, you got to work with someone in England just to have it there. Just because there's so many different rules and laws.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, you realize back, if you look at those old comics and you'd see the credit list is like, God, really? Is there like 30, 40 people working on this book? How does that even make sense? It's like two guys, right? And then now it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they've got somebody working on each piece of this because it's such a nightmare. So a lot of eye-opening stuff when you start making things, realizing, God, yeah, it's a miracle that any like film gets made or any project gets to completion. It's like, wow, everything really came together for this project. Like you look at any little like indie project and think, oh, there could be such a cool documentary series on what those people went through trying to make that thing. I love stuff like that. I get so inspired by like, outside of like the horror genre, because obviously we make stuff that we would want to consume.
Yep.
Right.
But like watching the making of those types of things, like it's like endless inspiration. I'm just on a rewatch of like the appendices through all the Lord of the Rings extra discs, and I'm like, oh God, like you're pathetic. Get up and draw for another 5 hours.
But also, when you hear the story about like Lord of the Rings and what they went through and like what Peter Jackson had to go through in order to get those movies made, and like how Harvey, nothing positive about Harvey Weinstein, but Harvey Weinstein was just basically like, I'm only going to give you this budget because we don't know what this is going to do, and we've got to pay for this and all this other stuff. Like if you look at like what Jackson had to go through in order to make that movie.
And all 3 books need to be in one film. Figure it out.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, what are you talking about?
And Jackson wasn't a household name before that to even pay hundreds of millions of dollars. He did indie, low budget horror movies.
Yeah. Like Dead Alive, right? Wasn't that
he did Dead Alive, he did the Frighteners.
The Frighteners.
He did the Frighteners with the technology he got from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wait, did he do that after Lord of the Rings? Am I mixing up
He used the computers that they were using for all the CGI for Lord of the Rings to make the Frighteners. So he did that at the same time.
Okay.
But
Because they were filming a lot earlier.
Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles. Yeah.
Yes, Meet the Feebles. Yeah. All the puppets.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like it's crazy, and I mean, we were just talking a second ago about like everything that goes into making these books and everything like that. Like, so I wanted to bring up Sins, right? And Sins being something that we were talking about, like you hope it sells out. Like that first initial run, you guys like sold out like super kind of quick, right?
Yeah. It was maybe 100, maybe 200 print run that sold out, that first printing of it. And a lot of this has to do with timing, and like the lockdowns had just happened. So everybody was online and thought that this might be it. So let's just like buy stuff and like learn how to do things and all that. And the algorithm was still kind of like in artists' favor to where your stuff was getting viewed. I did a full on I think it was a 30-day long like promotional advertisement on it. Like I did everything. God, I built a puppet to like be the crypt keeper that promotes this thing. Like it was this whole thing. And it I feel like it took all of that to make that first print run successful. Um, but then it became like, this is how like Headless Horseman splits off over here, because it's taken me so much time to do this one project that like I'm now losing out on getting to draw Headless Horseman because I just can't do all of it. So then it's like, well, we got to go find other artists that can like join this whole collective. And then it's like that expands even more, and then the anthologies start, because Colby can like, he can just come up with this stuff, and like he can have one really brewing while he turns out like 5 short stories, gets back to this other one brewing. And I can't keep up with it with the art. I would love to do every one of these like short stories he comes up with, but it's just, time management is really the key to all of it.
Right.
So we got to handpick the ones that like really mean something to us together, and then everything else is like, it falls into place how it's supposed to. So Colby found John, um
The Headless
all,
Horseman artist.
yeah, and it's like, oh, this dude's incredible. And now it's kind of like, I'm excited to see the pages as they come in, instead of feeling like, oh, I would have crushed this page, and like,
Right.
now it's like I'm as excited to see it from a different artist. And that's kind of how it's been with the anthology stuff. Like, we start meeting these people at conventions or online, and start collaborating with them. And then, yeah, it's cool getting to see these different pages get turned in, and, oh, check out this guy's piece from his project. And then, yeah, it feels like it's definitely grown from when we started working on the Sin stuff. That was like our first kind of, this is our first shot. We're gonna try, um at least the first one that got published. I take that back. We did a whole other witch story that I still have pages for, and it will come out eventually. But it it was like, we were so amped to work with each other that it turned into this like, I don't know, 90, 120 page graphic novel length.
Yeah, I also didn't know
Yeah.
comic like format for writing either, and a lot of the silly things you take for granted when creating comics. But it's like, oh yeah, in this panel you have like 3 different actions in like one panel. It's like, wait, oh yeah, it's just a static image. Like, you gotta pick and choose your snapshots sequentially to do the storytelling. But that witch story, yeah, it was like probably close to 100 pages, but like written in prose. There was some
Right.
like, script elements to it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I throw in like an overhead shot here or whatever the heck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was basically a novel. I just wrote like this big book. And then
your
I was
whole
like,
background
okay,
is
John,
prose,
or
right?
okay, Mark, now you draw it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Your
was
your
so
whole
fun.
background is prose, right?
yeah, I started with prose first, and then because I wanted to do comics, but it's like I need to spend all of this time learning how to be a good writer. I don't have the time to be a good writer and learn how to draw at this stage of my life with a full-time job. That's something you could maybe do as a teenager or whatever. But I was like, let me just focus on writing. Let me make sure I have that down. And honestly, I could never take on art and just focus on writing and continue to get better at it as long as my brain works throughout my life. But where was I going? Oh, yeah. So I started off, I was like, before I met Mark, I was like, I'm writing now. The first thing I wrote was a novel. I was like, oh yeah, novels. You write a novel, right? Most people start with short stories just because it's smaller format and stuff like that, and you can complete things and shop them out. So I wrote a novel first as prose, then I wrote some short stories, and then I met Mark, and I was like, I finally have an artist that I can work with to actually make comic books. So let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, we did that whole guinea pig project to basically figure out like, how does this work? And yeah, and it was, again, is just as cool as anything else we've done. It was just a lot to be the first thing. So with Sin, it was kind of like, all right, let's like do a normal, just like single issue size, not as much pressure, a little bit of Marvel method, a little bit of what Colby's used to, just like a good mix of everything we were trying to do, but bite size, something that realistically could get done, and then feel like, okay, we got that first one out of the way. Every artist or every writer, they always say like, yeah, first one's not the best, but you got to get that one done and just get into the routine.
Mhm.
And then for the second issue, we definitely like upped the ante, like the page count, what's happening on the pages. Like you can definitely see, okay, the dudes that made the first one, maybe or they're like dipping their toes in and just kind of feeling it out. And then the second issue is like, oh, okay, these guys are like getting in the groove now. And there's a lot of action happening in that one. And without having to cut too much dialogue. So at this point, we're figuring out like how many panels is like works with how much narration and dialogue that Kolby wants to put in to convey what's happening that the images aren't quite saying, and like me leaving room at the top of the panels to like fit words and not, and being okay with how the art looks, not thinking, oh, I should make this guy's head bigger, right? So yeah, I just feel like it's a constant learning process. And yeah, I feel like the stuff we're working on now is going to be, an even next step above like what we've been doing in the past. So yeah, I mean, super grateful like that we met the way we did and like clicked. And like you said earlier, like he saw my Jackal 13 Ghost tattoo, and then he was reading a Mignola Hellboy library edition, and I was just like, dude, Mignola's my guy. Like he's like my favorite artist. Like, and then he's like, oh, well, I really want to write comics. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. Like, I'm trying to draw comics. And yeah, then it was like, well, thank God I work at this place, because I was thinking about quitting there for a minute.
Awesome.
That's amazing, man. And I know Sins was something that came out of your out of like it was something that you had already been working on, right, Mark? Like or like story wise, that's something that you already had.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like how Colby was talking about with his prisoner 666 idea. Like,
Hmm.
I have this drawing of when I was a kid, and it was this dude. He looked like, um, he kind of looked like the Predator, but with almost like a Jason Voorhees mask, and it just
Okay.
said "Sin" across the back in like an iron cross. And I was just like, at the time, like I said earlier, I was into the early 90s image guys, and just like the hardest, most extreme like pinup style shots you can make. And I feel like there's something about ideas you had as a kid that are so like, I don't know, pure, but like not not they don't have all the baggage of like life beating you down yet. And like it's just like pure imagination, and the like sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And there was just something about that I was like, yeah, that'll be my guy and my character, whatever comic thing that I end up doing when that time of my life comes around. This is already ready to go, because I had made little like stapled together comics as a kid.
Hmm.
As we all did.
They would, oh, of course, yeah, but they'd always be like of something. So it'd be like Godzilla versus whoever, or like a Ultraman ripoff, or some like Dragon Ball Z fan lore. And but I always had this character that I just thought, he's so hard. Like, it was like like when it was funny when God of War came out, I had to like redesign him, because I was like, fuck, like they took my idea, because he
He
looked a
looks like
lot more
Kratos.
like, yeah, he looked like Kratos, just like the most savage dude you could imagine.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so when it was finally time to, once the band life kind of like dwindled down, and I was same thing, you know, families like, all right, like we're very cool and proud of you with like your quote unquote college years with the band, but you know, it'd be nice to get a real job. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna call it at this certain age, get a real job. But you know, like we were talking earlier, you got to have something outside of your day job that,
Oh
and
yeah.
you know, and so like the comic thing, that was always just in the back of my head, like, dude, you gotta do it. Like you did your whole touring thing, cross it off the list. Just be grateful that you even did it while you did it. What's the next thing that you had always wanted to do as a kid? Like make a comic book, you know? And the fact that we are now like we've in different forms, you know, we've got a good little list of comics under our belts that we've been involved with now. I've done a couple like other projects that went to Kickstarters through other artists and their projects. You know, I've done variant covers here and there. So now like looking back at like, oh wow, like we've got a cool little portfolio of projects that we've done. Um, and just to think of, you know, the projects are only getting better, the opportunities are getting better. So I just figure if we just stay consistent and keep enjoying what we're doing, then you
Yeah.
know it's
Yeah.
only going to be a positive in our life. As soon as it becomes you know, not fun anymore, then that's when you got to figure out like, okay, what's the next thing to do, you know?
Mhm.
But this still like scratches that itch like more than anything is
I mean,
like,
that's us in podcasting.
Yep.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
exactly it. You know, we do it because the day it stops being fun is the day we stop doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a great philosophy to have.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Exactly. So with all that being said, you know, we're gonna jump into some wrap up questions here, because I mean the conversation's been amazing, but it's like, yeah, I wish I had all night just to be able to talk about all of this stuff because it's great and I'm having so much fun here. So guys, I'm gonna ask you the hardest question you've ever been asked in your life. Are you guys ready for this?
Ready.
You
Yeah.
ready? All right, here we go. What is your favorite kind of taco?
So this is okay. So I'm doing this 24-hour fast. I can't
Uh-huh.
stop thinking of food. I feel like my animal senses have been unlocked. Like we're walking through work and I feel like I could smell every microwave in the building and what people were heating up today. And our buddy John, who's probably listening to this right now, he has family down in SoCal. And I was like, oh, SoCal. I just went down there for his wedding, and there's this taco spot called Valerie's down there.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, my mouth is watering thinking about it. But they have these tacos called El Jefes, and it's just loaded with meat and like
Yeah.
spicy sauce, and then they like make fresh, perfectly cooked bacon and just crumble that over the top of the taco. And I'm just like, I've been dreaming of these tacos since June when I had them. I would go down to SoCal just to go to that taco spot, honestly, and just load up like a cooler and then throw them in like a air fryer up here. But those are my favorite tacos. They're not like a universally known taco. They're called El Jefes at Valerie's down in Oceanside, but they are fantastic. They are
We're gonna have to
so
we're gonna have to
good.
go get the boss tacos.
I recommend it. I was like blown away. I watch a lot of food programming as like my ultimate like chill, unwinding happy time.
Yep.
So, you know, I was throwing all the culinary terms I knew out at the time. I'm sitting there like everyone has to hear my analysis on these tacos right now, like because I'm blown away. But
That's funny, man. What about you, Mark? What's your favorite kind of taco?
Ooh, probably also down in SoCal, Casa Vega. Anytime we're down in LA, I have to stop at Casa Vega and get some tacos there.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Dig it.
is there a specific type you like there?
Chicken, beef, it doesn't matter, dude. They're so good.
He's like tacos, just tacos.
Yeah, they're so good. Yeah.
Dude, I'll go there. I'm
Heck
just
yeah.
gonna go to SoCal for tacos and just hit up taco spots.
It's where they filmed a scene for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in it.
Oh snap! Okay,
And
Nice.
Kurt Russell's narrating, and they got back to Casa Vega.
is that what made you want to go there because of the movie?
Oh
or?
no, it's
Okay.
been in the family. Like we always go any LA trip.
Oh snap!
But for them to film that there was also like
It's a
all right.
validation.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's like, oh yeah, I thought this was the best taco place, but the fact
Yeah,
that
yeah.
movie, it's
Tarantino
validated.
approved.
Yes.
Tarantino approved.
Hold the foot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's extra seasoning.
Yeah.
El Jefe is carne asada, bacon, chipotle sauce, cheese, cilantro, and onion. I'm just looking at their website.
Oh yeah, dude.
That sounds
Oh,
about
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Sounds absolutely delicious. So again, I'm gonna ask you another difficult question here. Might be easy for you, and you never know. You never know. What is, in your opinion, the worst horror franchise in existence?
Ooh, horror franchise.
I mean, with the Conjuring universe.
I laugh because Graveyard is like, he's probably sitting there like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You agree.
It's only because I've just watched that documentary on how like that couple is totally full of shit.
Yeah,
And they were just
yeah.
scamming people, and I'm just like, oh,
They fought werewolves though, so it's got to be true, right?
Yeah. I'm just like, man. I was almost thinking of like, is Rosemary's Baby a franchise? Because those ones kind of like don't.
I
really
mean,
do
there's
anything.
technically 3 of them now, so sure.
Yeah, it's a franchise.
Mm,
That's a quote unquote
I guess
franchise.
not.
Air quote
I guess that's
franchise.
rude. That's rude to put them at the worst, but
Somebody's got to take it.
yeah.
I mean, the Conjuring's up there. I love the Conjuring
Exorcist.
one.
Exorcist.
Oh, no, I
I'll
don't
say
know,
that.
man.
Do you not like Do you not like Exorcist 1 or?
I hate the entire
I think it's
franchise.
okay.
Oh,
I hate the
you
entire.
don't like the prequel?
What about the
Dominion or whatever?
The jump scare in 3? My favorite.
No,
One of my favorite jump scares.
I think in my personal opinion, is Exorcist. It should not be the scariest movie of all time to this day, 54 years later. Because at that time, yes. Now, still, no. If you're under the age of 54, you didn't see it in theaters, it's not the scariest movie you've ever seen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's kind of like with horror, you have to think of it as like inflation as well.
Mhm.
Like back then, times were a little simpler. It wasn't the internet and all of that.
Yeah.
People were believing that it was legit. So I can understand why. And for that time, the impact that it had on the world probably won't get repeated again. I'd say like maybe like a close runner up would be Blair Witch in the 90s.
Mhm.
Everyone thinking that was real. I remember even asking my my parents, and they thought it was real. So I was like, "This isn't real, right?" And they're like, "It is." And I was like, "Oh my god." Okay.
Well, when the actors couldn't show up in public for a year after it getting made, yeah, that's adds to the story.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
They did a really good job with the lore building around that movie for something. Again, that whole thing, everything about that movie wouldn't have worked outside of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yet we're still doing it, Indy.
No, but what I mean is like,
I know.
yeah, because like, back then it's like, oh, they have a website, which means that it has to be legit. They have
It's
a
real.
website.
It's on the internet.
Exactly. There's a website there, and only real things have websites.
I would say
Yeah.
the closest that came for viral marketing that came relatively damn near close was Cloverfield.
Yeah,
Cloverfield was so fun to follow as it was coming out.
Yeah, that was great.
I think the poster was the first thing I saw for that.
What was the website? The drink?
Slusho?
Slusho? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Yeah. But again, like you could throw that up there for competing with the worst franchises, because it's like, what the fuck were they doing with the sequels to it? Because
yeah, it's the Hellraiser syndrome.
And yes, we in our show that I do, we call it the Hellraiser syndrome because Hellraiser after number 4 just took other movies that already existed, written, and then threw Pinhead in for 20 seconds. It became a Hellraiser movie. 10 Cloverfield Lane was another movie before anything else, and they added the last scenes to make it Cloverfield. Same with the Paradox. So they're separate movies that had Clover in them.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
because Paradox was not. 100%. Neither of those movies were Cloverfield movies. They were not intended to be Cloverfield movies.
They did that with Die Hard too, right?
Yeah.
I think it was the one with Shia LaBeouf in it. It was like a completely different movie, and then they turned it into a Die Hard, and I think that was the PG-13 one.
Ugh.
I might be. I never watched it, but I just remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Nope. No, thank you. Okay. What's some advice you guys might have for somebody who's trying to get into the industry, whether it's indie or anything that they want to do? Like, what's advice that you wish you guys had going into creating comics?
Do it like immediately. Like don't wait. Don't have all of these excuses that you make for yourself so you can continue to procrastinate it. Just start writing, start drawing, finish things. Probably start small so it's less daunting for you. You got to kind of play like these little mental games with yourself. Like I have a to-do list every day in this little notebook, and when I'm writing something, I'll say like write 3 crappy pages today. So it takes all the pressure off myself. As long as I'm chipping away at it, or depending on how I'm feeling, instead of like a certain amount of pages, it'll be spend this much time. You have to write for an hour today.
Mm-hmm.
Or I learned this from Neil Gaiman. You could sit there with your notebook in front of you or your laptop or whatever it is that you're writing on. This time is for writing. You could do nothing, but you can't go on your phone. You can't do anything else. It's either you're writing or you're just sitting there doing nothing until the timer's off. And pretty soon doing the work is going to be more entertaining to you than doing nothing. Can't even look out the window. You have to just sit there and just have your stuff in front of you. So actually doing it, not making excuses. And you have the internet, which could be a huge detriment if you're just Googling random stuff or going on social media, or it could be a huge benefit because you can find resources to teach you how to draw or how to write. I don't think you need to go to school for it. I didn't take any writing classes in school, but you have Stephen King has books on writing. He's got 2 of them. You have several other people. You have master classes. You have interviews on YouTube. You have articles. You have all these resources that you can utilize to teach yourself if you're driven enough.
Yeah, I have one of those Masters of Horror writing books
from Stephen King.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is it? There's the one on writing, and then there's Dance with the Macabre.
Yeah, it's the one on writing.
On writing, okay, yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah, because I knew like how Kolby was saying, like taking on a whole new skill is like it's a lot of work. So and I'm not a big reader because I spend most of my time drawing. So I picked up just the essentials, like Stephen King on writing, like was the Robert McKee story, the hero's journey, like all those.
The hero's journey is
like,
good.
Yeah, just the basics that it's like George Lucas references these, Stephen King talks about this, like, it's just breaking down the essentials so I at least know when I'm putting together some kind of like jumbled skeleton of a story, Kolby can come in and like flesh it out. But I know I'm at least giving him somewhat of a structure that makes sense. But yeah, all those books are great. Big fan.
Nice.
Alan Moore has a comic book on making comic books too. It might just be called Alan Moore Writing Comics or something, but it's in a comic book format. It looks like a comic book, and you flip through it. It's got images and stuff, but that's also a super valuable resource because that's specifically for comic books.
Yeah. Or Watching the Watchmen, that's a killer, like making of book that shows just breakdown from script to sketches to ideas of the Watchmen.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's Alan Moore's "Don't Copy My Shit."
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't make anything that has anything to do with what I make. Okay.
Or don't piss me off. I'll make my own Batman.
Right. Don't piss me off, or I'll send the snake god that I worship after you.
No hate towards Alan Moore. The man was a genius, but
I
man,
love Alan Moore.
Yeah, it's just he does have his entrance. I can't say the word. Eccentricities.
He's
That's what I'm
quirky.
gonna say. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Eccentricities.
He's got enough quirk for the entire industry, I think. Him and
Yeah.
Grant Morrison, they
Grant Morrison's another
they
one.
got enough between the two of them.
It's another guy that's like an absolute genius, and I think that's what it is when you're a genius, you're also just kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah. Fine line for sure.
Exactly. All right. So again, another solid hard question here. Who would win in a fight? Headless Horseman Frankenstein or Aaron Eckhart's Adam from I, Frankenstein?
I've never watched it, so I can't say.
He's like a superhero version of Frankenstein.
You know who else was like a superhero version of Frankenstein's monster was Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
The creature
thought
in that
about
had a healing factor. He was like almost as strong as like the Hulk or something. Like
I almost thought about doing his version because I was like, oh man, I could do Guillermo del Toro's, but then let me pull something deep cut.
I mean, I would say probably in his normal walking around form, it's like an even fight. But as soon as he throws on the flaming pumpkin head, it's like he goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that might be the determining factor there.
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say my guy, but I'm just trying to be polite.
yeah.
So if Mark is gonna say that, I'll just.
That's 90% of the reason why I asked this question, because I know most of the time people are they're gonna answer with their character.
I mean, in my world is like more extreme and out there. It's a lot less grounded, so they play by different rules.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're dealing with like actual deities in your book.
Yeah. Things get so much crazier. I can't wait to release more stuff. I'm chomping at the bit to get it out there and for people to read it because I have so many cool plans for it, but it just takes time for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait to read more, man. This story was so good.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, man. So what's next for you guys? You guys have any cons coming up? Any shows? Anything you guys want to promote? Now's the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're spending most of this year in creative mode. I've got a couple commissions I'm finishing up. I did a big project for Mushroom Head recently, and I've got a few toying with getting into like the licensed world, getting like a limited time license, and then dropping like a limited print or poster for a couple properties. So that's where I'm hoping to evolve some of my work this year is getting, instead of it just being fan art, like what really would it take to officially put this out?
Mm-hmm.
Because, there's companies that get just 24-hour license, and it's, when you really start looking into it, I mean, it's kind of doable if you can market it right.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to be doing comic stuff. But in the more personal work side, I'm going to try to do some of those license pieces. And then, more comic stuff. I'm working on doing a version of Kolby's anthology idea, but instead of bringing in more artists, I'm doing just shorter stories of different projects that I wanted to draw. So yeah, just kind of leveling up, doing what we do, but do it better this year. The conventions, I mean, if they come up, they come up. Sometimes we do them a little last minute. Sometimes we plan all year for like the Halloween time and do one around then because our books lean more towards that kind of audience.
Right.
So probably end of the year if we start doing conventions. But yeah, if something comes up, I mean, we were always flexible and open. But yeah,
That's
more.
where I met you guys. I met you guys at Sinister Halloween Con. So
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's about the time we come out, hang out with the spooky people.
oh, the less spoopy.
For me, I have From Dark Corners 2 will be out next month. I actually got all the printing files together last night, and I just haven't sent them off to the printing company yet. I don't know. I'm just going to scrutinize the pages. Do I want to redo any of the lettering, et cetera, and then I'll send it off. But I'll have that released next month. I have merch for that new book because it introduces Prisoner 666 in it. So I have the t-shirts and the hats. That'll all be dropping on my website next month, which is on my Instagram account. And then I fractured my leg over the summer, so I wrote a ton while I was bedridden, and I'm hoping to have like 2 or 3 comics out this coming year, and then maybe start trickling out Headless Horseman Frankenstein Dungeon Party. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because it's a huge project. I was thinking about maybe launching a website where you pay like a small monthly membership, like $1 or something, and then as I post the pages, you could just read it on there. Once it's all done, drop the graphic novel. But Sinister Creature Con in the summer, I'll very likely be at, and then I'll try to get into SAC Anime during the summer too, but they're a little harder to get into.
Yeah, SAC Anime and their weird rules.
Yeah, I think it's like a lottery system or something like that, if I'm understanding the rules correctly. But
Unless you
haven't
have
gotten into the.
unless you have a certain amount of following.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have a, like, I think they said it was a following of over 20,000 people, then they're more willing to work with you.
Okay. Good to know. I'm not really too much on the social media stuff. I keep it to promote my books and everything, but I don't know, another thing to work on.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, speaking of social media, where can everybody follow you guys if they want to learn more about each of you guys and kind of what you're doing and any, if they want to follow the work that's coming out?
Yeah, my Instagram is just my name, Mark Nosler. And then I have my all my work I do under MWN Studios. It's just my initials. And so both of those pages are active. And then yeah, there might be a few more pages that pop up this year that I have saved but haven't launched yet for other projects. But yeah, you just search my name on there. We're not quite at 20,000 yet, SAC Anime. This is why I haven't gotten a table in a while. But we're getting there. So hopefully we'll grow them numbers so that we can get in the front door of these buildings.
I feel that.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and talking about the projects, about your work, about everything that you guys are doing.
Yes.
It's again, as I mentioned, it is amazing work. The stuff that you guys are putting out is extremely good. This is why we like talking to indie creators, is because the amount of creativity, the amount of just amazing work that comes out of the indie world is just mind-numbingly good.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very kind words.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
We're glad to have met you guys at the convention because, yeah, I mean, you just happen to do a show and then you meet people, then you do stuff like this. You never even get there if you don't put yourself out there. So,
Yeah.
Awesome to meet you.
Awesome to meet you guys.
Awesome.
Too.
Right on,
Sweet.
guys.
So we are gonna get into. We got about 15 minutes left on the show, so we're gonna see if we can knock out a couple of these brackets here. You guys are free to hang out if you want to, but if you guys got to take off, that's fine.
I know Colby's starving from his fast. We gotta get this man food.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right,
All
good.
right.
Talk
All right.
soon.
For
Later.
sure.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
For
Thank
sure,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Too big. All
There we go.
right.
So I've been separating pieces this entire time.
That's fun.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm building right now, or what I will be building, is the Death Star trench run.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun doing that. I had some holiday little mini builds that I was gonna do, but it's like we're way past the holidays. I'll save them for another time.
I mean, it depends what calendar you follow, but sure.
I was gonna say maybe in July I'll do them. We'll do Christmas in July.
Yay. All right.
Yay!
All right. Well, yeah, so we have the holiday bracket. We might as well try to get through this.
Right,
whenever
right.
we
Just
can.
finish them.
I doubt we'll finish them. We only went through round one, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, like finish what we can is what I mean.
oh yeah. Yeah. And he disappeared. Phil disappeared. Oh right. Phil. And you're back.
Well, that was fun. I don't know what just happened right there, but we're back.
You're back. I didn't leave.
Oh yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened. The internet just said, "Hey, you're funny. You wanna do a podcast?"
All right. So where we left off is that Muppet Christmas Carol beat out the Santa Claus, Prancer beat out the Mean One, Terrifier 3 beat out Hot Frosty somehow.
I mean, the name alone should have won that one.
Mhm.
Hot Frosty.
Yeah, Home Alone beat out Christmas with the Cranks, Jingle All the Way beat out Four Christmases, Scrooge beat out Polar Express, Jack Frost beat out Office Christmas Party, Black Christmas beat out Family Man, Ernest Saves Christmas beat out Die Hard, Harold Kumar beat out Christmas Story. So we have Spirited versus the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Ooh, I think okay. So as much as I love Spirited, don't get me wrong, Spirited was a really good movie. It's the fucking Muppet Christmas Carol, man. I mean, Michael Caine alone wins that because of the way that he treated the characters in that. Like he actually, that man is such a masterclass of acting. Like, yeah, I think it has to be Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah, like I said, we discussed this before that he acted like every puppet was a person.
Right. He treated each puppet like an actor, whereas in Treasure Island,
He treated them as puppets.
he treated himself as a puppet.
I mean, he is.
Yeah, he kind of is a puppet in real life. That's what we love
Yeah.
about him.
Yep.
But yeah, so
I agree. Muppet Christmas Carol definitely is. I mean, I was surprised by Spirited. I was not expecting it to be a musical by any stretch of the imagination.
wasn't expecting it to be a musical, but I also wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Like it just was a good movie.
Yeah.
And you don't think Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell and immediately think this is going to be the best movie, like of the year. Shit, it's actually really fucking good.
It could have gone the way of Holmes and Watson very easily.
Yeah.
Very easily. All right, so that is moving forward. I don't know who's in our chat right now.
Oh yeah, we've got 3 in the chat and nobody is talking.
Correct. Say Wong said, "Hey," from Anime Los Angeles an hour ago.
He's in LA.
Yeah, almost 2 hours ago. So, all right. Next up, then we have Prancer versus Terrifier.
Prancer versus Terrifier. I don't know. I don't think either of those movies should be on this list right now. But
Prancer's a Christmas movie.
Prancer. No, I mean I'm just saying like they're not movies that are. Yay! It's a movie I want to go watch right now.
What? Are you sure?
Well, maybe Terrifier. So I mean, maybe because I'd be more willing to watch Terrifier, I might go Terrifier on this. But at the same time, we're going for what is the best Christmas movie. Sadly, Prancer is more of a Christmas movie than Terrifier is.
It is. Say Wong says Terrifier. I'm going Prancer mostly because I personally know the guy. I don't personally know Damien Leone yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Prancer just purely because it's more of a Christmas movie rather than a movie that takes place in Christmas.
Yep. I agree. All right. Like I said, he's not in Pasadena. He wishes he were, though.
Oh.
All right. Now, this one's going to be the hard one. Christmas Vacation versus Home Alone.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Both take place in Chicago.
Well, both take place in Chicago. That is correct.
Yeah.
Kevin! Hold on. Jack, what is the better Christmas movie? Christmas Vacation or Home Alone? Okay.
I'm interested.
Jackie's going Christmas Vacation.
I'm going Christmas Vacation because it really what makes you feel like the holidays.
I was gonna say I think I'm also going Christmas Vacation on this. It's just between both movies. They're both iconic. They're both iconic Christmas movies. Home Alone, very much is something that is a Christmas movie, but at the same time, it's not. The focus isn't Christmas. It's more that Kevin got left at home for Christmas, and there's robbers trying to rob the house, during Christmas. Versus Christmas Vacation is a movie about Christmas.
Correct.
So I think I'm gonna go with Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, it's where hell comes to you.
And also, howdy neighbor. Fucking septic tank blue, so good.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like I said, Christmas Vacation is one of those Christmas movies I will watch every year. So,
Christmas Vacation is a 9/9 movie during Christmas. So,
yeah. All right. Next up is Jingle All the Way.
Okay.
Versus Elf.
So, I recently listened to a podcast where they were talking about Jingle All the Way. And they were talking about how much Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, if you were to compare him to somebody in real life, like how much of an unlikable person he is, and how much the villain of the movie is actually the hero in real life. If you really look at Sinbad's character, he's supposed to be the bad guy because he's the antagonist, but in reality, he's a dad that's working hard to take care of his family, that happened to miss on a present and is I need to get this present for my kid, and he's trying to get it for his kid because he wants to get the present for his kid, whereas Arnold is oh, well, my kid said he wanted a present and whatever, I mean, I'm just never there for him, so I'm just gonna get this present
and punch people in the face and have bomb threats. Yes.
Yeah there's so much in that movie that's when you go to look at it and it's it's a different movie when you actually look at it as an adult versus it being a fun movie when you're a kid. So I'm gonna go Elf. Also because Elf is purely a Christmas movie.
I mean, Jingle All the Way is all about commercialism and
right
and Black Friday.
Yeah, Elf is purely a Christmas movie. To the point where say Wong also said Elf. To the point where they even go and they went and licensed Rankin Bass so that they could put Rankin Bass characters in the movie. God, the best scene, bye buddy, hope you find your dad.
Yep. Yeah, I despise Jingle All the Way. So
call me an elf one more time.
So yeah, I'm going Elf. So Elf is moving forward. All
Elf,
right.
Elf is also one of my top movies of all time too. So
yeah. All right. Next up is Scrooge versus David Harbour as Santa Claus in Violent Night.
Oh man. I don't want to go against Violent Night but like my intuition is pointing towards Scrooged, and it's mainly because one, it's a classic movie. Two, it's probably one of the better retellings of that story.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, it's Bill. I mean, like, come on, man. I like David Harbour and whatnot, but you know, I think I think Scrooge takes it for me.
Yeah. And so on says Scrooge, but they are remaking A Christmas Carol again this year. I don't know why. We don't need to have a billion versions of them.
Yeah, they don't need to keep doing
No.
Christmas Carol, especially if they're doing like the original version of it again. Like, just I mean, there are good versions of Dickinson's story. Just leave it be.
Yeah, but it's public domain, so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
All right. I'd say Violent Night just because it's different.
Okay.
But speaking of different, we have Gremlins
Oh, God.
versus the not Michael Keaton Jack Frost.
Oh, the horror
Yes.
one. Okay,
Yes.
then Gremlins for sure. That movie, dude. And it's fine. They did practical effects, but the practical effects in that movie were so fucking bad.
Yeah, but Gremlins didn't have Shannon Elizabeth, taking a bath in the melted snowman either.
No, they didn't. They didn't have Shannon Elizabeth. Another great scene with Shannon Elizabeth. But I mean, God, that movie was so. I saw that movie by accident.
Because you were getting Jack Frost with Michael Keaton, I bet.
No, because I turned on. I think it was either on HBO or Cinemax. I don't remember which channel it was on, but I turned on the channel because it was like already on, and that movie was on already, and I was like, okay, I guess this is interesting. Let's see what this is, and it's just fucking bad. It was like I got like 30 minutes into it, and I was like, no, can't watch this anymore. This is fucking terrible.
I own both 1 and 2 on DVD. I do. I think I was at a Suncoast in the late 90s, and I saw it there. I'm like, I have to get this, and I did. Also with Pinocchio's Revenge.
Oh
Just
God, another
really
terrible
shitty
movie.
horror movies.
So another really shitty movie.
Yeah, it is. But Gremlins is still a better Christmas movie. I'm not going to.
No, it is. It is. Gremlins is just a better movie in general.
It is, except my wife prefers number 2.
Because Gremlins 2 is less of it's more of a comedy than it is a horror.
Right, because everyone, I don't know if anyone knows, but Gremlins was a hard R horror movie until Amblin came in and Spielberg tells Joe Dante, do this and make it a family-friendlier movie. Gizmo was going to be the villain who turns into Stripe. But I still like Gremlins a lot.
Yeah.
And, Gremlins 2 created one, I'd say the third best Key and Peele sketch.
Which sketch was that?
The Gremlins 2 pitch room.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Love it.
Yeah. No, like I said, the most memorable scene I have, and there's 2 memorable ones for me. It's when the Bat Gremlin shows up, and they do like the Batman parody in there, and then the scene where the intelligent Gremlin starts singing "New York, New York."
Oh yeah. So, all right. Well, Gremlins moves forward. Next up, we have Ernest Saves Christmas.
Okay.
Versus Black Christmas.
Oh. Again, my intuition keeps telling me Ernest P. Worrell because it's fucking Ernest. And as a kid, I could not stop watching Ernest movies. I loved Ernest P. Worrell. He was such a good character, man.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, whenever our family gets together, he puts Ernest Saves Christmas on TV.
Yeah, Ernest Saves Christmas was a good one. Ernest Scared Stupid was another good one. Ernest Goes to Prison is another good one.
Ernest Goes to Africa, not so good.
No, but Ernest Goes to Africa, at that point, they were just trying to like churn out more Ernest movies. Right. And it's like, because like the first two obviously are the best ones, like Ernest Scared Stupid and Ernest Saves Christmas. Obviously, those are like the best ones because that was like him at his creative prime.
Oh yeah.
Ernest Goes to Prison was just it was slapstick funny, and then Ernest Goes to Africa was just kind of like, why?
Because Ace Ventura did.
And I think that's the main reason why they did it was because of Ace Ventura.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. All right. Well, I'll say Black Christmas because I think Black Christmas is the best Christmas horror movie of all time.
Okay.
But yeah, same one as Ernest. Let's move forward. And to get to our final 8, we have a very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Okay.
Versus the second best Christmas horror movie of all time, Krampus.
Ooh. Okay. Harold and Kumar Christmas is probably the weakest of the 3 movies.
Yes.
Because like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle,
Best.
obviously the best out of all 3. I mean, it's the first one, it's the best one. The second one had good jokes. They were, I wouldn't say it was as good as the first one, but they had good jokes. Like the bottomless party bit was actually really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how like people have topless parties? Yeah, I have bottomless parties. That doesn't really work, man. So yeah, again, the Christmas one, I can't even. I've seen that movie maybe twice, and I still can't. Like, I couldn't tell you a scene from that movie.
I saw it in 3D.
Oh God, it's all bad. Versus Krampus. Krampus was a decent horror movie.
Arguably, like I said, the second best Christmas horror movie.
Yeah, it actually was a decent horror movie, and it is directly a Christmas movie because it deals with Krampus. It deals with, the actual Santa Claus.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna go Krampus on this. I think I'm gonna go a little bit different than normal because I usually veer away from the horror movies for holiday stuff, but I think Krampus is probably gonna be the better pick between the two.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like I said, very Harold and Kumar Christmas came out 15 years ago at this point in time. It's awful. It killed the franchise as far as I'm concerned.
It did. I mean, the only thing that saved John Cho was that he got involved in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, John Cho would have like disappeared. I'm forgetting his name. What's the other actor's name?
I can only think of his character names.
Yeah. He got into like more indie film.
Well, he went on to House. He was Kevin on How I Met Your Mother just because they knew each other from Harold and Kumar.
But I mean, like he's done a lot of like really good like dramatic indie scenes, like in indie movies. I actually just listened to an interview with him recently about how he knew Zoran Mamdani when he was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. So Zoran Mamdani's mom is like a really famous like director.
Okay.
And he had this whole story about how he wanted to get out of comedy because he was being typecasted for like comedy roles and stuff, and he's like, I really want to like focus on acting and like actually being an actor and whatnot. And he saw a listing for a film that she was casting, and a friend of his had like a connection with her and was like, I can get you a conversation with her. And he goes, awesome, okay, cool. So she takes a meeting with him for an audition, and he goes, yeah, no, he goes, I really want to audition for your movie. It would be like, I've been watching your films since I was a kid. You're an inspiration. You're like a really big deal to me. And she goes, I'm gonna let you audition. I'm just gonna let you know right now, the role that you're auditioning for is already been casted. Right. And she was like, so there's a good chance you're not going to get this role. Only reason that I am giving you an audition in the first place is because my son is absolutely obsessed with you. right? And you are like his favorite actor right now, and that happened to be Zoran Mamdani. So he said he met Zoran on set, gave him an autograph and everything like that, and they've actually been friends ever since, right? But he said like, yeah, he was like a teenager, and the only reason his mom gave me a shot was because of him. Turns out the actor who got originally cast in that role had to back out for another role, and he ended up getting the role and playing that character.
Nice. As Cal Penn.
Cal Penn. That's
And
what I'm thinking of.
And he did work for Obama too. We can't forget.
He did work for Obama. He was a caser for Obama for a long time. But yeah, so like it's funny how like Cal Penn being an actor met Zoran Mamdani, and now Zoran Mamdani is the mayor of New York. So that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is what our final 8 will be for next time. We have Muppet Christmas Carol versus Prancer.
Okay.
Christmas Vacation versus Elf.
Oh, why do the ones that should be the last ones end up in like the semifinals like that?
I know. Scrooged versus Gremlins.
Okay.
And Ernest versus Krampus.
Ernest versus Krampus. Okay.
Yep. That's what we'll have for next time.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We have had a good time. We hope everybody else has had a good time with us as well. Of course, before we jump out of here, young Phil, not Shadu. We're both young Phil. Graveyard, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Yes, I am Gary, co-host of the Mostly Pod at Night, Mostly Podcast.
Mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
We are back as of an hour and 7 minutes ago. Season 5, episode 1 has dropped for the podcast. I'm excited. It's a 2025 year in review. We talk about our top 5 and bottom 5, and the worst one and best one that we watched didn't come out, but we watched in 2025. I'm excited for that. And we are back for Conversations in the Void over on Wednesday next week. And we have the next 4 months booked, I think, at this point in time. So follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night.
Nice. I'm very excited to listen to the latest episode. I've been listening to all my other podcasts, and of course, like I woke up this morning, looked at my thing, and I was like, when was the last time Pod Out at Night came out? And I forgot that you guys released an episode that you guys had pre-recorded. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, well at least I have an episode to listen to. So there's that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am, your boy Young Phil, Distance Nerding, all the places at Distance Nerding. If it is social media, it exists. We are at Distance Nerding. You can also send us an email if you want to give us suggestions, if you want to tell us about what you hate about us, what you love about us, everything at distancenerding@aol.com. Now, guys, we've got something new out there. Graveyard, I don't know if you heard about this. I'm sure you saw it in our group chat. If you didn't, then you just weren't paying attention to it. But ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a merch store now. Yes,
I did see that.
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a legitimate merch store, www.streamlabs.com/distance-nerding/merch. And we have all of the different things out there. Of course, guys, it's fun stuff. I actually have a video that I can show everybody here. Give me a second. Let me actually load it up because I put it on the thing yesterday, but not actually in this. So, but I mean, still, guys, it's a lot of fun stuff. The oh, it's not gonna let me put it on here. But you know what I can do? Hold on. I've got something I can do here. Let's screen share. Let me actually open up the video because I have an announcement video. That way I can actually show this to you guys. It's so cool. Oh, because this is full screen. I was like, why is it not letting me pull it up? Because it won't let me pull it up if it's full screen. There we go. Got it. Pulled it.
All right.
Can you see? No, not yet. It's not on the screen yet. Boom. Right there. Let me full screen this guy. And here we go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have an official merch store. Again, that website across the bottom of the screen right there, www.streamlabs.com/distance nerding/merch. Of course, all of our original merch, all the shirts that you guys have known and loved, everything that we have there. But of course, now we have variant shirts, different logos, as you guys saw on the screen. There's a D&D one, there's Ninja Turtles, there's I said Back to the Future, but we haven't released that one yet. I'm so excited about all the different things. We have a whole bunch of different things. We have shirts that we haven't even dropped yet that we're going to be doing. There are original shirts on there, guys. I'm working on a nerd flag right now. Wave your nerd flag high. The original shirt that we have, it's actually in that video, and I can't wait to see like the first person who buys it. But it is it says roll for confidence, and it's a nat 1. So
Perfect.
good. And then of course on top of that is I want the cup DN hats. Time Warp Toys. We are so right now the hats aren't on the website yet. And the reason the hats aren't on the website is because the merch store itself, there's an issue with the code on the page, and it won't let me actually add anything for hats. So I sent them an email. I'm waiting for them to fix that. But for hats, we don't have hats yet on the site. They'll be there soon. But we do have shirts. We do have all the different variant shirts and everything like that. We also have cups and different glassware. So there's a pint glass, there's a tumbler, there's wine glass, different things, coffee mug, all distance nerding stuff, guys. It's all the fun different things you can get. I would say, we should put Pot Out at Night on there, but then I'd be getting that, not you. So we should.
I have a website.
There you go. What's your website?
I don't remember.
We'll get that to you guys next week. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We will see everybody. Are we doing game night tomorrow?
You guys, I don't know if you guys are. I have to start work. I have to work 8 hours and then start work again at 5 p.m. for 20 or 30 hours. So no, I won't be around.
That sucks. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will let you guys know on all the social medias if we're going to be doing game night tomorrow. But if not, you guys have a safe weekend. We will see everybody on Tuesday for sure for Distance Nerding. So until then, keep nerding together. We'll see everybody later.
Bye.